This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/TYT and get a 2-week trial for free.
Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum has decided that the Crusades, come on, they weren't that bad. No, you got to be thinking I'm exaggerating. That's what I thought when I saw the headline. Nope. That's exactly what he said. Here are the quotes. The idea that the Crusades and the fight of Christendom against Islam is somehow an aggression on our part is absolutely anti-historical. They amaze me, man. They do it every day. How is it anti-historical? Have you ever read any history? It's the Muslims didn't go up from Jerusalem and march up to Europe to attack Christendom. No, the Christians marched down to Jerusalem to attack the Muslims. And by the way, on their way, the Crusaders killed endless Christians, fellow Christians, because why? They were hungry. They wanted that town. They wanted the spoils of war. They'd go into fellow Christian areas and kill and murder them and take their land and their territory. And then, Jews killed how many thousands of Jews? Massacres on their way in to Jerusalem. And then, of course, when they got to the Muslims, they're like, we came here to kill the Muslims. So, of course, that made sense. And now Rick Santorum thinks that's awesome. He continues. He says, American involvement in the Middle East is part of our, quote, core American values. In other words, we've been invading the Middle East for thousands of years. We're part of Christendom. It's part of our core American values to invade and occupy the Middle East. The guy's unreal. It doesn't end there. He says that that the American left, quote, they hate Western civilization at the core. That's the problem. And another quote is, he says, and that is what the perception is by the American left who hates Christendom, referring to the Crusades. So he's saying the American left hates American values, which is to invade and occupy Middle Eastern countries. Those are what he calls Christian values. And that we hate all that, and that we're saying that the Crusades were an aggressive act by Christians' army because we hate Christendom. It's not a matter whether you hate Christians, you don't hate Christians, and to think that the Crusades have anything to do with present-day Christians is absurd. We're not as stupid as you are. We don't think that what the Pope ordered thousands of years ago is somehow has something to do with a Christian sitting in Kansas. It has nothing to do with it. But it is also completely and utterly wrong to say that the Christians did not crusade down to the Middle East to kill the Muslims and kill many Christians and Jews on the way. I mean, he's just making it up. It's not an agenda of the left to say that. That's history. Read it. It might do you some good. And if all that were not enough, he says at the end of his speech in South Carolina, quote, what I'm talking about is onward, American soldiers. So presumably, if we elected Rick Santorum to be our president, he would say, hey, let's Crusades round 2. They had it coming. Onward, American soldiers. Let's go invade and occupy more Middle Eastern countries because it's part of what Christendom does. It's, according to Rick Santorum, part of our core values. Now, luckily, this fool of a man, this absolute and utter clown, has 0% chance of winning. Even in the Republican primaries, this guy is seen as ridiculous buffoon that he is. John Thune just dropped out of the race. He still has a better chance of winning than Rick Santorum does.
If you want to build a website or a blog, where do you go? You go to squarespace.com.
With Squarespace, you don't need any coding experience, and the best part is you can even edit your website on your iPhone.
They give you 24/7 support.
Go to squarespace.com/TYT and get a 2-week trial for free.